Hi trader, welcome to part 2, the software we use for market access, and we use MT4 platform, and we'll explain why in this video. MT4, Metatrader4 platform is something that you will see regularly in our videos as we analyze the markets and trade the markets, and Nanneth and I both use MT4. When I don't use MT4, I would be only using it for Elliott waves. I use a different package software for that because of the wave component. But you can, of course, add text to the Metatrader4 platform as well to indicate waves. The reason why we use it is because there are many, of course, options regarding indicators, a big community that has a lot of indicators built for it, a lot of EAs as well, something we'll be discussing together with you and showing. Large community of traders, many testing opportunities, and overall, of course, just often used with a lot of upgrades and easy to navigate. So, what is MT4 perhaps, first of all? Electronic trading platform basically for accessing online trading. Obviously, about 20 years ago, that was not so easy. Nowadays, with the online trading, it's a lot more easier if you have access, of course, to internet and a PC. You can already trade the markets. This is downloadable at no charge, and you can just access the markets pretty quickly once you have these tools in-house. So lots of advantages regarding testing, as I already mentioned as well. Here you can see how it looks like, the chart in the middle, of course, and you can see some buttons at the top and bottom. We'll be explaining exactly what those mean right now. So you can see, for instance, point 1, you will see time frames that you can change the view of the market, because point 3, you can see just above it, is showing in this image the euro dollar H4, which stands for 4-hour chart, and of course the euro dollar. That is the chart that we're looking at with all the the black and white candles. They are in fact in the middle. The candles themselves represent 4-hour bars, basically 4-hour units of time, and we can change those units of time by clicking on the blue tab at the top where I have the number 1. At the moment you can see that H4 is lightly pressed, and if I would, with my mouse button, click on D1, which is the daily chart, weekly chart, monthly chart, 1-hour chart, 30-minute, 15-minute, 5 or 1-minute chart, I would change the view, and those candles would not represent 4-hour, but the different time frame, such as, for instance, 30-minute. So this is how you can zoom in and zoom out to see more or less of price action, more or less of the history. So that is basically why you can see at point 2, you can see the time and on the right, at the bottom, sorry, and price at the right, and then the middle is basically the point where the time and price find each other. So for instance, if I would use this candle as an example, all right, that occurred at the end of March and around 109, 108.50. All right, the time and price connected to that candle you can read by moving lower and to the right. So you can read the current value or the value of that particular bar in the past. Let's take another example. How about this one right here? So you can see, or maybe a better example would be this one right here. So just look right and you'll see the price. That was the price at that time. And look down and you can see that was the price or the candle of that particular time. So that's how you can connect those candles, those bars, to the correct time and the correct price. Let's take a look at the next bar, the next set of options, I should say. In the purple box indicated by the number 1, you have various things you can play around with. Basically, on the left, you can choose how you want to use your mouse button as a crosshair or as a pointer. You can then add lines, vertical, horizontal, slanted, Fibonacci levels, channels. Text is indicated by A and T. You can add arrows here. You can change the type of the bar, which is these green 3 options, zooming in or out, plus or minus with the magnifying glass. Market Watch, you would actually get a summary of the currency pairs like in Market Watch, and you can change the settings of how you view the screen and the chart, and here you can see the currency pair that you want to add as well. Let's take a look at the second option. Of course, at the bottom you see currencies and of course the time, as I just mentioned. Next chart and next options, purple box. Let's start there with option number 1. You see about 7 words. In fact, those lead to further options. So if you click on File, there will be a drop down list with more options you can review. The same is true for all the other 6 words that lead to more menus and more choices. That's something you can easily discover yourself. Below that, you can see options, for instance, like adding currency pairs, looking at the total list of financial instruments available, adding indicators is the yellow map, entering the market is, can be done by clicking on the green plus and new order. So those are some options. Some of those indicators you already see on the chart. Take a look at number 2, where you can see the orange box. Those are moving averages that have already been added to the chart, and that's how they look like. You can easily do that and add indicators by, for instance, clicking on Insert, then going to the indicator, or clicking on this yellow map and star, and then dragging the indicator on the chart. Third and last point of this particular slide, you can also save profiles. So for instance, if you're trading SWOT, you can make one profile called SWOT, and the other profile could be analysis, right? You can, of course, name as many profiles as you want, or you can subdivide SWOT profiles. You could say, I have one SWOT profile for the 1 hour, my 1 hour trading, and another for my 4 hour trading. And you could say SWOT 1 and then SWOT 4 to indicate the difference, and then basically go back and forth between the two. And the advantage of that is that you have the entire profile ready, accessible, just by logging in, rather than changing constantly the time frames or changing your template. You don't have to do that. You can just change profiles and everything is ready for you. That wraps up the MetaTrader 4 edition and a review of the platforms we're using. Hang on and stay tuned for part 3.